Welcome to the channel. If we haven't met, my name is Sam. I run a six-figure 3D printing business from under my garage. If you are tired of the inconsistent profit that comes with selling 3D printed products, then you're in the right place. I'll explain how we calculate our profit per printing hour, or the PPH, and how we use that information to price our prints so that every time we make a sale, we are making profit. Stick with me to the end and I'll share our minimum profit per printing hour our products must get in order to make it into our shop. Your PPH isn't just another metric. It's the key to understanding the true profitability of your 3D printed products. It considers everything from the cost of electricity to run your printers to the fees you'll be charged by selling on sites like Etsy or Amazon. We're going to explore why knowing your profit per printing hour is a game changer, moving beyond just selling more to making more from each print. To maximize our PPH, we first need to take a full accounting of all of our expenses when creating a 3D printed item for sale. Too many times I see videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels where people say, "Can you believe how much money this person is making?" They then show a gross revenue number and all they subtract is the cost of the plastic from that number. They do that math for 1,000 units and make it look like one product is making them 100,000 per year. If this is the type of math you are doing to determine your profit, you're going to be very sad when the end of the month hits and you see your actual net income. Let's break down the PPH formula looking at material costs, electricity, printer wear and tear, selling fees, so we learn how to set the right price for our products. Let's put this formula into practice now. We've all seen the 3D printing articulating dragons, they're everywhere. It's a super competitive marketplace and we've seen the price get driven down because of this. Let's take a look and see what we can actually make if we sold one of these dragons. Alright, our formula is simple to write down, however putting it into practice does take some work. In its simplest form, we take our sales price minus our cost of goods, which includes things like material cost, electricity, machine maintenance, shipping costs, and other supplies. We also then minus our selling platform fees, which leaves us with our net profit. To get our PPH, we then divide the net profit by how many hours it took to print, which leaves us with our profit per printing hour, or PPH. You can see how important it is to know your profit per printing hour. Something I do often is actually using this calculation to disqualify potential products from being added to my catalog. As cool as a product may be, there are times when it's just too costly to produce. This may seem a little counterintuitive, but when I calculate my price per hour, I don't start with my sales price. The position I take is that the only thing that is actually variable here is the sales price. Your material cost is its cost. Sure, you could source cheaper plastic, and maybe you should, but the amount of material used is the amount of material used. Same with the electricity cost and all your other costs of goods. So the way I calculate this is I start with my material cost. For this example, the cost is $3.79. The way I got here is that I use the amount of grams my slicer tells me I'm going to use and multiply that by the cost per gram. Most spools are priced per kilogram, so you have to do the calculation, but there is 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so it's pretty straightforward. Next, we look at the electricity cost. Again, I'm using my slicer to tell me how long my printer is going to run to print this item. In this example, it's 9.25 hours. I then take that time and I multiply it by my printer electricity cost per hour. Next, we calculate the machine maintenance. Every 3D printer will have maintenance, whether it's nozzle replacements, PEI sheets, or everything else that could go bad on a 3D printer. You'll have to decide for yourself what the cost per hour should be, but then take that number by the print time and you'll get your machine maintenance cost for that print. I currently run my maintenance cost at about 6 cents per hour. Other supplies is next. Pretty self-explanatory. If your product requires any supplies that aren't 3D printed, something like mounting hardware or electronics, whatever that cost is per item, we need to calculate that into the cost of goods. Finally, we have our packing cost. Now, I charge for shipping, so my packaging cost doesn't include my actual cost to ship, but just my box and packing material cost. So in this example, we can see our total cost of goods is around $5.94. Now, I actually start to think about price here. I try to price to market, so I'll do some research on what I'm selling and try to get a sense of what I could sell it for. Everybody is a great tool for that. I'm not going to get into how it works, but I do have a link for that below if you want to check it out. In this example, I'm going to use the sales price of $16.50, which is absolutely crazy. It's been a year since I looked at the price of these dragons, and these things just keep getting driven further and further down in price. At any rate, we take our $16.50, subtract our cost of goods of $5.94, and we are left with $10.56. However, we still have another expense, which is the sales platform fees. I'm going to use Etsy for my example. I know from experience that the total fees Etsy charged me on this listing is 20 cents for the listing fee, a 6.5% transaction fee, a 3% plus 25 cents payment processing fee. So in this example, we would be at $2.02 in Etsy fees. This takes our total profit down to $8.54 per sale. We then take that and divide by our print time, which is 9.25 hours, and we are left with 92 cents profit per printing hour. Obviously, there's a lot of math here, and recreating this formula every time you have new products isn't a great use of time. Hey everyone, I'm actually working on editing and uploading this video right now, and I know from this point on, it's probably going to seem like this video is sponsored by 3dprintforce.com. And I guess in a way it is. I actually developed 3dprintforce.com myself on my nights and weekends, and have released it now to the public for everyone to use for free. So 3D Print Force actually makes zero income for me. However, it's the support I get from my Thangs and my Patreon memberships that allow me the time to develop tools like 3D Print Force. So I guess in a way, the real sponsor of this video is my Thangs and Patreon members. So thank you to those of you that support me through those platforms. Without you, I couldn't be doing this. If you're interested in seeing the benefits we offer to those members, make sure you check the links in the description below. They are there. Otherwise, enjoy this non-sponsored video for 3dprintforce.com. It was because of this time suck that I created 3dprintforce.com. I built this tool specifically to help you effortlessly calculate your profit per printing hour. This isn't going to be a walkthrough of the app, but if you want that, you can watch this video here. I do want to show it in action though, so let's run through using our PPH within 3dprintforce.com. Once you get logged into 3dprintforce.com, there is some setup of your account you'll need to do before you actually get to the point where you can add a model up here. However, like I said, this isn't that video, so if you're signing up, please make sure to go in the description. I have all the videos in that series listed down there. It'll walk you through all the steps of making your account so you can get to this page here where you can actually get some models added and start using the calculator. What's great about 3D Print Force is that all we have to do is plug in our values into the fields shown here, and then 3D Print Force does all of the math calculations for us and spits us out our total profit. I'm not going to do the dragon again, but rather I'm going to do one of our new planters that we just released on our Patreon and Things profile, because why not? Variety is spice of life. So for something like that, my category would be home decor. I do something like planter, and if we pull up our slicer here, we have our new planter in here. We can see it takes us 2.5 hours to print this at 87.32 grams of filament. So I'm going to do 2.5 hours, and I'm going to round up to 88 grams of filament. We do sell this as a wall mount, so we use those Velcro command strips that we do provide. They're 50 cents for a 2-pack, so it'd be 0.50 for that. The shipping weight on this, I'm going to say, is about 5 ounces, and the shipping charge that we charge to ship these are $5.75. Now, I know earlier I said I don't provide shipping, so why am I putting the shipping charge? Etsy charges you on your gross sale. So even though the buyer pays for shipping, you charge it to them on Etsy, and Etsy takes a fee on that charged shipping amount. In our shipping profile, we have our boxes here. I'm going to do 5 by 5 by 4. I'm going to print this on the Bamboo Labs P1S, and I'm going to do this on Etsy. Now again, all these values here you will have already set up when you open your account at 3D Print Force. So if you have questions on how to do that, make sure to watch those series of videos that I linked in the description. We then save this, and you can see we are filtered by our Bamboo Labs P1S, and here we have our planter, 2.5 hours. The cost of goods is $2.34. We can click on that and it explodes our cost of goods. We can see our material, electric, maintenance, other supplies, and packaging costs. Close that. We can see what our total profit per print is and what our profit per hour is. This is now where we can start plugging in our sales price to play with our numbers here to get us to a profit that we want. So I've actually already been selling these planters, and I know from experience that I can sell them for about 18 bucks a piece. And we can see there we are making $12.95 per print, or $5.18 per printing hour, or our PPH. So now that we can calculate our profit per printing hour, logically the next question is, what should my profit per printing hour be? At the beginning of this video, I promised that if you stuck with me, I'd share with you my minimum PPH for our products. Our bare bones absolute minimum is $3 profit per printing hour. More and more of our products are coming in around that $5 or $6 per printing hour, with some of our best products as much as $9 per printing hour. Ultimately, you need to decide yourself what your minimum PPH is going to be. 3D Print Force is currently free for anyone who wants to sign up. We even created a bulk CVS upload, making it easy to get started. I'll take that video somewhere above my head on how to do that bulk upload. As I mentioned, we all have expenses outside of the cost of goods to create our products. If you are interested in seeing the 5 expenses I think every 3D printing business owner needs to nail to be successful, make sure you check out our video here, and I'll see you over there.